So this is a parabola, which is a U-shaped curve. It's a quadratic relation, and I'm just going to ask you some stuff about it. Where would you find the vertex of this parabola? Where would you find it?
Point.
Yeah, so it's the point where it changes direction.
1, 9.
So it's here.
Negative 1, 9.
Negative 1, 9, good. It's the point where the parabola changes direction. So it either goes from increasing to decreasing. In this case, it's the highest point. Okay, so that's actually important. And we know this parabola opens up or down?
Down.
Good.
The x-intercepts are 2 and negative 4.
X-intercepts are where?
2 and negative 4.
Okay, so you're going to write it as a coordinate. 2, 0,
negative
and
4, 0.
Negative 4, 0 are the two x-intercepts. Where's the
y-intercept?
y-intercept?
Is 0, 8.
0, 8, perfect. What is the axis of symmetry? So all parabolas are symmetrical, and the axis of symmetry is like the imaginary line that shows you the symmetry of the parabola.
It's negative 1 x.
So it's here. Yes.
Up.
So when you write axis of symmetry, this is important. You need to write it as an equation. It's an equation.
Yeah.
It's an x value. X equals negative 1. Now, if you also look here, it's always going to, because it's going to run through the x-axis, and it's also always going to run through your vertex. So the axis of symmetry, this can help you with studying, will always be the x value of your vertex. Whatever your vertex is, the x value of that will always be your axis of symmetry, right? Does that make sense? Like it has to run through the vertex because that's the point where it changes direction. Then the other important thing is you have to decide if it has a maximum or minimum value. How can you figure that out? If it's a maximum value or a minimum value. If a parabola, I'm going to write it here, if a parabola opens down, which is what this one does, is it going to have a point that's going to be the highest possible point, or is it going to have a point that's going to be the lowest possible point?
Highest.
So it has a max value, yes. Think of maximum, it's the highest it can go. It's here, right? This is the maximum value. Because, as you can see here, look, this can go on forever. It can keep going down, 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 but it's never going to go past this. So another important thing is the maximum value has to be a maximum y value. What is the maximum y value? So you would say max y equals 9. Again, it's another equation. And what do you notice? How is it related to your vertex?
It is like the coordinates of the vertex.
It's the y value. It's always going to be the y value of vertex. So your vertex tells you three things. It tells you
the vertex.
It tells you where it changes direction. It tells you the axis of symmetry, right?
And the max value.
Yeah, it tells you the axis of symmetry, and it tells you the maximum or minimum. So it tells you the max or min. If the parabola opened up like this, let's just draw one here. Let's say this is my parabola. If it opened up, it would be a, so if it opens up, it would have a minimum value. What would the minimum value be of this parabola?
-2.
Right. This has a minimum y value of -2.
The line of symmetry
right?
is -7.
And the line of symmetry is, what is it?
8, -8.
-8, good. -8. Excellent. Okay, you understand that. If it opens down, what would be the coefficient of, what would the a value be in the equation?
Negative?
Yes. So if it opens down, the a value is the coefficient of x squared, right? The a value would have to be negative. It means it's going to open down. If it opens up, the a value would be positive. That will tell you if it's going to open up or down. Okay, so one last thing. Another word for x-intercept is roots of the equation. She might say, what are the roots of the equation? That means you're trying to find the x-intercepts. So here's my equations. How do I know these are all quadratic? How do I know they're all going to produce a parabola?
They have a thingy of 2.
They all have an x squared term. They're all to the power of 2. Is the highest degree of these equations are 2. So I'm going to ask you, let's do them in order, A, B, C, D,
Open
E.
up, open down.
Okay, this is up.
Up, down.
Down.
Up.
Because the coefficient of
Is negative.
x, so the coefficient of x squared is your a value. A equals the coefficient of x squared. You're looking at the number in front of x squared. So what about this one, C?
Up.
D?
Down.
What's the coefficient of
whoops,
x
I
squared?
didn't see that. That's it's up. It's
Right,
up.
because the coefficient of x squared is positive. I tried to trick you with that one.
That
E?
is down.
Down
and down.
Good. Okay.